it feeds me.
Yeah.
I get inspired. I get to be excited about my ideas and have somebody to share it with who speaks the same language,
Yes.
and who has the capacity and the space to receive what it is that I'm saying, rather than being like, oh, that's interesting.
Hey yo, pimpin' on the east side. I know this a West Coast beat, but it's a freestyle. I've been kinda stressed and I freaked out. Good thing I got a brain that could reroute. That shit ain't got nothing to do with me.
Okay.
What it do? What it do?
Okay, so we are doing part 2
The sequel.
of the collaboration conversation. And as an exercise, I was like, ooh, wouldn't it be fun if we both had 5 things, 5 characteristics that were positive characteristics that we've noticed through our collaboration.
Okay.
So that way it can help other people navigate collaboration and see what they should be looking for in a partner. Yeah.
Some fun homework.
So we don't know what the other person is gonna say.
Right.
So I'm really excited about this. 'Cause this is really impromptu. Like, we're gonna elaborate on some of the things, and maybe some other things will come up. I don't know. Hopefully we'll do it within, our cute 30-minute time frame.
I think we'll be good.
But
I trust us.
I thought that would be fun.
Yeah.
So, I want to start.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
So, I have compassion,
Okay.
personal responsibility, respect, trust, and passion.
Okay.
What you got?
I didn't know we were doing. Well, you did one words. Okay.
Oh, what you did?
I did not whole sentence, but I just anyway. So I put no ego. I put challenging one another.
Okay.
/ commitment, commitment.
Okay.
Experience.
That's a good one.
Transparency, and love of art / creative expression.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're pretty different.
Yeah. There's a little overlapping.
But okay. I should have known you couldn't do just one word because you're a writer.
I mean,
everything has to be.
It's just the thoughts are flowering and
Okay. So, all right, you start with your first one.
Okay.
And let's talk about yours.
All right. So at the top of my list, I had no ego.
Okay.
And that was one of the first things that came to mind for me because I feel like you are a seasoned creative. You've been in films, you've been on stage, you have what I think is an admirable and respectable resume that's speaks well to your intentionality and your talent, but I've never experienced you in a way where it was just like, I'm Deshaun White and I have these credits to my name and I've sat across from, that's never, and you have always been somebody who's sought me out for different things and to collaborate in different ways. And there was never a sense of like, you're bigger than whatever's going on or whoever, and even when we've been in the room with other people and other collaborators. So, and that's something that I admire a lot and I think is for sure essential when you're looking to work with other people.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. I agree with that. I think we both operate in a space where we feel comfortable allowing the other person to shine or to have an idea that, I use this term loosely, trumps, the other person's idea. Like, I can think of a time where, we had what we call grounding conversations, which are the conversations that we have before we get to this recording moment. And, I might be really, really, really interested in exploring a certain topic, but energetically you might be in a different place.
Right.
And so in my head I'm in one place, but in your heart you're at a different place. And I always like to give space to where the heart is flowing more than the head.
Yeah.
And so being able to kind of like leave my type A personality and my control personality at the door to give space to the thing that you want to do, and vice versa,
Right.
I think works really, really well for us, because there's a certain level of just knowing that, you know, it doesn't matter whose idea it is.
Yeah.
It matters that as a whole, we're doing great work.
Exactly. Agreed.
So, no ego. I like that
Yeah.
one. Okay, I put, my first one is compassion. And the reason why I put compassion is because, you know, as we were talking about this podcast and what we wanted it to be, we talked about it being something that kind of like flowed easily into our schedule and into our lifestyle, and it not becoming this thing where it's like, we gotta record this week and we gotta you know, and getting crazy about it, because there's so much in the world that we can be crazy about, but we want this creative space to be filled with flow, and we want to genuinely enjoy what we're doing. And I love the way that we work with each other as it relates to having compassion for what the other person is going through.
Yeah.
Like, you know, if you're tired and you can't make it, or you need to change, you know, a time that we, you know, meet up, or if I need to do that, it's just, there's never a moment where I'm like, oh, why is he doing that? He's not committed.
Right.
You know, it's always like, oh, okay, like, you can't make it this time, or, you know, things are happening. Life is happening for you right now. Okay, cool. Like, we'll come back to it.
Yeah.
Because I think within it, we still have a certain level of structure and commitment.
Absolutely.
To where it makes compassion for the other person easy.
Yeah. Man, you really hit on something so important. We don't sacrifice like the commitment, which like you said, it makes it easier. So there's an acknowledgement and an awareness that, hey, I had to change times, or I had to request a different day, and there's a follow-up, if not that same day or whatever, but like, let's circle back Thursday, or you know what, I can't do this time, but are you available? You know, and there's just that intention, and it may seem simple, but those kinds of things that can be lacking, you know, where you're non-specific or unclear, or just not intentional, that can lead to frustration, because it's like, man, so-and-so is always rescheduling, but they're never
coming back
with the
like, are we collaborating?
Right. Yeah, that's good.
What's your number two?
My number two. So challenging one another, commitment. So I feel like we do a really great job of challenging one another. I think taking on this endeavor is something that cannot be sustained without a certain level of commitment, and it needs to, it's shared, and we both need to be responsible in a particular way. And at times that involves, making requests of another person. Obviously, like, can you do this, or come up with your 5 things, or can you meet an hour earlier, and those are like small examples. However, there's always new requests, and I feel like this collaboration has challenged me to push beyond my comfort zone in terms of what I take on, or the energy I devote to projects, but also expanding my ability to embrace collaboration and rise to the occasion when somebody else is making a request of me, and like asking, okay, what does it take to fulfill this thing? And like, oh, this is outside of my comfort zone, recognizing that, but embracing it as an opportunity for growth. Because you're coming to the table with a different idea or a different perspective, again, that's pushing me beyond what is familiar or comfortable, but as an opportunity for me to like really expand my palette. And I feel like it's an exchange, you know, because again, I have my own perspective, I have my own ideas. So there's times where I've shared an idea with you and it's like, oh, I wasn't thinking about that, but I love that. And that's, you know, and so it's pushing us forward as creators as well. So I just love that challenge that exists.
Yeah, I would agree that I do feel challenged in a good way. I would say that the biggest for me has been getting out of my own way. And kind of what we talked about was like compassion, getting out of my own way and allowing someone else to take the lead and kind of figuring out what that back and forth is. Because I'm very much used to being the one,
right?
You know, like being the leader, you know, and this is my thing. And if you don't dress, then, you know, you out of there, you know? And so being challenged in a way that I think just makes me a better people person, so to speak, but also I think that prior to this moment I had already done the work of being able to accept that someone else lives in a different reality than I do, and that they don't always have to be a part of my reality in order to have effective collaboration.
She on her own planet, y'all. That's what she just said. It's like
all right, my number 2 is personal responsibility. And the reason why I put this is because I feel like we both are doing this and we feel equally responsible for it. Yeah. And I think a lot of times in collaborative spaces, sometimes there is that one person who is taking on the brunt of everything and they're carrying everybody. And, you know, within our dynamic, it's like, you know, you ask me, I think we care a lot about each other's capacity. Yeah. And it's like, you are constantly asking me, you know, what can you do? What can you take off of, you know, my plate? And even the personal responsibility of constantly wanting what we create to be better and better is something that I see in the both of us. Like, you be having ideas and stuff and you get super excited about your ideas. Yeah. Can I call you? And I'll be in the middle of a nap, and wanting to be in my own world, but wanting to support your light and your greatness and your excitement. So I'm like, call me. You know? Yeah. And so we both have a personal responsibility to make this all that it can be. And I think that is paramount to having a really good collaborative relationship.
Yeah. And I love that we're able to ask each other those things, like that there is that level of comfort and, you know, to one of your other points, trust. You know, when you may have a lot going on with other work or you're just at capacity, you're like, hey, you know, would you be okay doing this thing? Or like, you know, would you mind? Or, you know, and we have those exchanges. And again, it's personal responsibility and shared responsibility. So, because I know personally, I never want you to feel overburdened or like, damn, like, you know what I mean? Yeah. I'm not with somebody who is being supportive or intentional in terms of like sharing the workload or asking about what it is that I need, which is, you know, antithetical to partnership and collaboration. So number 3. So I put experience, or we bring varying experiences to the table.
Oh, okay. That's
so
a good one.
I mean, so, you know, both of us have a theater and an acting background, and, you know, we both get our writing and direct on. But again, that I think has manifested in different ways for the both of us. You know, there's a lot of things that I do in terms of visual art and of course poetry, and that shapes and influences how I listen and how I speak and see and how I want to get ideas across. And you have a different set of experiences and training, and you've been in spaces that I have not been in, and so I think we have like a rich pot of resources to pull from. And I love that because again it supports us, I think, putting forth the best product as we explore how to, you know, I think we've had conversations about wanting this to be more than like a podcast or just another thing with people talking. Like, how do we allow this to reflect the benefit of both of our years of training and experience and of being storytellers. So I love that we both come to the table with all of these different things that we can use to the benefit of this platform.
Project. Yeah, diversity of experience, diversity of thought, diversity of idea, diversity of perspective. I think it makes for a more well-rounded and interesting experience, not only for us, but for our audience. And I also think that behind the scenes, it helps us get things done better.
For sure.
Like, with your writing background, I mean, I can do it, but I don't want to.
Right.
So, like, I'll be like, can you write? Can you write? Can you write? You know, and my background is more on the administrative side, you know, with scheduling and things. So I'm like, okay, how do we bring structure to something that's also free flowing at the same time? And so, yeah, I agree. I love it. I think it's the perfect balance.
Yeah, likewise.
Okay. My number 3 is, respect. R-E-S-P-E-C-T. I know what I'm doing. Okay.
Baby Aretha.
Respect. Why did I write this down? I think it's just because we have an overall respect for each other as humans, period. I mean, we're friends.
Yeah.
And so I think it helps when you collaborate with someone whose story you know to a certain extent. You respect who they are, you respect their thoughts and their ideas.
Yes.
And I think we come to the table and collaborate on this podcast with a mutual human basic level respect that extends into our friendship. And I think that's super important because you don't want, a lot of times when people choose collaborators, they choose collaborators based on who they are, where they have been, or this idea of where this person can take me.
Right.
Versus having a complete respect for just who they are as people. And I think that works for us as well. And it helps to mitigate, I think, some of the issues that people run into in collaboration when there is a difference of opinion, when there are differing ideas.
Right. Yeah. And it's one of those things that can be very easily neglected, and you know, when things like ego can take over and people start getting disrespectful, you know. So I think like that's something I'm always keeping in mind, you know, because we have a friendship, so, you know, having respect for you, your space, your time, your energy, everything that it takes to show up and have these exchanges, having respect for where you've come from and your aspirations, your dreams, like, again, the passion that you have for creativity, like, so respect encompasses a multitude of things, you know, for me as well, but it's super essential.
Yeah.
Okay. transparency.
Ooh.
Was my number 4. So we've probably touched on this a little bit already, but I wrote that because as much as, you know, this is our project, this thing that we're cultivating, and it does demand a certain level of work and dedication. I feel like it's not just about that, but you know, again, because we're friends, so there's a certain level of transparency. So we'll have our grounding check-ins and things like that, and it's technically like it's a pre-production thing, right? But we're talking about, hey, this is what happened to me this week, or this is kind of what I'm struggling with right now, and the respect comes into play with that because I feel like we both hold space for the other person. And there's a genuine compassion in that. It's all connected, right? So, but we're able to be transparent with one another, and you let me know if something is too much or you need a particular type of support. You're great at asking me, like, hey, you know, do you need support with anything, or let me know, like, and so yeah, I don't feel like I necessarily need to hold back. You know, you're very transparent, you know, with me. So I think it supports the fact that we are coming in here and having these conversations, and we have ideas and a structure in mind, but it doesn't make it this forced thing because we already talk to each other in a real way, and we're already vulnerable with one another in our real lives. So it lends itself to us being in
the space. I like the idea of transparency because I think a lot of times people come into spaces holding a lot of things, and if we don't know what you're holding, then we don't have a clue as to why you're showing up the way that you're showing up, and it also doesn't give us space to give you compassion when needed.
Right.
And so while I don't necessarily, because we're friends, we're super transparent, but sometimes you may be in collaborative relationships that are good relationships, but you may not be able to be as transparent. Right. But I do think that there is a certain level of transparency that is necessary. For sure. So that way people don't get it twisted. Yeah. You know, that way people know that you are a human.
Exactly.
And today I'm showing up and I'm not at 100 today.
Yeah.
Even if it's something as simple as that.
Yeah, just saying that, for sure.
Today I'm at a 70. And that gives people the space to collaborate with you more effectively.
Yeah.
So that was a good one.
Just that level of honesty. And one of the things I love about transparency, I think, I mean, as it relates to pretty much any relationship though, is it gives the other person an opportunity to support you, like you said, but also it gives them the opportunity to be transparent as well. Oh, because again, you said people enter into space and they're holding on to these things, and how many other people are feeling what you're feeling and are at 70% or 60, whatever it is, but don't feel like they can say it, or like, I just gotta thug it out, I just gotta put on a brave face. And it can make things potentially that much lighter. Like, I know you having a tough time, and we got each other, or we know we gotta adjust the pace, or we know, let's get a little tea brewing,
right?
And then
let's take a breath,
right?
You know,
and then before we jump into this thing, business. So
yeah. All right. Where are we? Number 4? No.
I just did 4. So
number 4 for me. Okay. Trust.
Yeah.
Trust. Yeah, trust is everything. I think it's paramount to any relationship, but in our relationship, our collaborative relationship, I put down trust because there is never a time where you say you're going to do something and I don't trust it. It's not going to get done.
Yeah.
And I think that has been built over time, right? Because mentioned a little bit about how we've collaborated before, but this is our first time really collaborating over the long term.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, we've kind of been doing this for at least a year now.
Yeah.
As far as, like, you know, the beginning process of it and having the conversations and doing the planning and stuff. So, but, you know, every now and then prior to this moment, I would bring you in on projects, you know, or bring opportunities to you for you to do poetry or something. And you would commit to those things and you would show up.
No.
And if the opportunities were paid, I made sure you got paid. And so it was like, there was never, and I trust that if anything ever went awry in those moments, that we would have that conversation with each other. And so being able to build that trust and rapport over time was super helpful for us coming into this, because now it's like, I have no question, you know? It's like, he said he was going to do it. Okay, he's going to do it. It's not like, I'm not looking at my phone like, oh, is he going to do it? Is he going to get back to me? I don't know. Like, that. It just doesn't happen.
Yeah.
And not to say that it never will, right? Because we are human. But of course, that's where that transparency and compassion comes
Right.
in.
Yeah. No, I dig that. And yeah, trust is because, I mean, I also had to recognize, I think, you putting trust in me to be your collaborator. And like what that meant, like, oh, like, she sees something in me, and so I get to be present to that, and trusting that, you know, my friend, like, knows what she's talking about, or has this vision, and like wants me to be a part of it. And I'm grateful that you see me in that way, right? I'm like, wow, like, and, you know, that's something that I think about often, as far as trust goes, and like trusting myself to be the collaborator that you need, that you have in mind. So yeah.
Nice.
Got a brother a little choked up. Oh no. All right, so the last thing I have on my list is love of art / creative expression.
Okay.
And that one is fairly straightforward in my mind, but really just knowing that you're somebody who loves art and loves expressing yourself and is always seeking to do it in new ways. Like, you're working on a one-woman show and you're, you know what I mean? Like, you're a brilliant person, and you've done all of these different types of projects. And it's so, I mean, creativity is not something that you have to turn on. It's just in you. And so, as somebody who exists in the same way, it's so important for me to share space with someone who has that same level of care and passion about art, about expression, because it feeds me.
Yeah.
I get inspired. I get to be excited about my ideas and have somebody to share it with who speaks the same language.
Yes.
And who has the capacity and the space to receive what it is that I'm saying, rather than being like, oh, that's interesting. Yeah. So these hot dogs, you know what I mean? So
yeah. I guess we're ending on kind of like the same note with mine being passion. And that definitely flows to what you were saying about being creative and creative minded, but just being passionate about the project that we are engaged in. I think, like I spoke about before, how a lot of people sometimes enter into collaborative relationships based on what they can get out of another person,
right,
rather than based on having the passion and the vision and being of the same mind. And so I definitely think that it helps that with us speaking the same language, but more than just speaking the same language, we both came together and said, this is what we want the project to be. This is who we want to touch. This is who we want to speak to. And since that has happened, that passion, not only to see each other shine, but also to encourage other people to walk in their light and be the best people that they can be, that has not wavered.
Yeah.
And I believe that that is what has kept us in this collaborative relationship. And I think that that is what is needed for people seeking to be in collaboration with others.
Yeah, agreed. Well said, friend.
Thank you. So that was our 5. And they, you know, overlapped and supported each other. And so, I don't know, like, I'm very happy about this conversation.
Yeah, likewise. I feel filled with light and affirmed and just inspired to continue creating. I think it all just encompasses why we're doing this. Like, we also kind of just like laid that out, you know. So yeah.
And that's a wrap.
We appreciate you tapping in, but don't be stingy.
If you were inspired or motivated by anything you heard, please share our podcast
With a friend or an artist you would like to encourage on their journey.